Welcome, you guys. Let's just give it a couple minutes here for people to trickle in. And I've got to get the link going here. Perfect. All right, so get the link going up in Stage Archive. Welcome to the Pre-Preon AMA. Not to be confused with the Preon AMA. How are you guys doing? What's up, Mouse? All right, T1 Crypto RY. I've been good, man. How are you? Very excited. Revising chemistry? Oh, man. I loved organic chemistry. Missed your meditation session last week. Yeah. Yeah, apologize about last week. I was not able to make the time. I had something else going on, unfortunately, but we are back. And obviously, we have a lot planned this week. Very good, very good. Hope everything's good with you guys. They miss, oh, yeah, I liked organic chemistry. I miss it. I really do. All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into today's AMA. We're not currently on Twitter Spaces. I think we're going to hold out for Friday's AMA. But nonetheless, this will be streamed, recorded to YouTube, and we will be interacting here on Stage Chat. Of course, a little bit later, after I go through the main information I'd like to go through, we'll go through some of the stage questions as well. But if people have questions as we go through, or would like to comment on the things I'm talking about, please feel free to do so in Stage Chat, and we can talk about them. What's up, Mad Mike? All right, so first and foremost, what I want to say is that Sphere has had a pretty couple wild weeks with a lot of dialogue taking place between the team and the community. And I know some of you may be tuning in to find out a bit more from the team's perspective on those different points and concerns. What's up, Oxy? How's it going? Right now, everything that Sim, DVK, and Lilo and other team members have said still stands and is in the process of taking place. And I don't really have much more that I can personally add at this time. So when the team is ready to show the next steps, we will share those with you. I can for sure say that the team has heard its community and changes are coming. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, please refer to the recent announcement by Sim for more information. I've linked it in Stage Board as well, so that you can click that and read up on the announcements in terms of basically where all that discussion has gotten us to and the changes that are coming. So with that out the way, let's jump into this week's AMA. First and foremost, one sec. Why this no do? Okay. Sorry about that. So first and foremost, as you know, our partner Kronos has airdropped VECHR to the lucky top 200 Spherians who locked their YL Sphere during our airdrop event. And you can now check if you received your airdrop. What's up, HuPow? You can check if you received your airdrop. Just go to app.kronos.exchange/airdrop. And congratulations to those who qualified. Now, this was for a total of 120,000 VECHR, 600 per wallet. And with the current price of CHR, this amounts to a total of over $120,000 or around $600 per wallet. even though it is in that locked state, that is its current value. Sphere is also one of the largest partners with Kronos, and with Sphere's VECHR holdings currently standing at several $100,000 in value, which is really awesome. And we are very grateful to be able to work with Kronos. Yeah, thank you, Mouse. So those VECHR positions are active, and voting is still possible on pools for the next 2 hours. Um, so for those interested in voting, now is your time. You can still get in there and vote, earn some bribes. Take action with your earned airdrop. That's what it's there for, right? Start getting them bribes. Awesome. And yep, thank you, Ultra, for linking the relevant announcement for how to get the VECHR airdrop. Make sure that you have claimed that. And please, please be cautious of scam messages asking for you to claim. Hopefully, we haven't had any of those come up, but please always be aware of those possibilities and do your due diligence. Only go with what we have in the official announcements. All right. Obviously, we will we will continue to be working with Kronos in terms of our liquid wrapper solution, and that will be on its way soon, along with many other things. So moving on from that, I did have a quick word on Balancer's APR for Sphere's liquidity, because this has come up a couple of times now. Balancer's APRs at the turn of the epoch are going to be low for Sphere's liquidity for a number of reasons. So first off, they're lower than they were due to a decrease in voting power on Tetu over Balancer. And we are looking into other means of getting a higher APR for our pool in the upcoming epochs. One of the ways that can be achieved is through bribing, though recently bribing on Balancer has not been as profitable. Regardless, we often see users, people talking in chat, concerned at the turn of the epoch, which should just be in a couple hours here, when the Balancer APR drops for the Sphere pool. This is because there is a delay in Balancer rewards due to Balancer needing to bridge that yield across chains. So when you see the drop in APR at the turn of the epoch, and or you see other people in chat expressing a concern about this, please explain to them that this is due to Balancer bridging that yield across chains and is only temporary. All right. Yes, thanks to Oxy for clarifying. So yeah, jumping back to Kronos, if you already voted, oh, I guess that makes sense. So with Kronos, if you've already voted, you cannot change your vote 6 hours before the epoch end. But if you have not voted yet, you'll be able to vote up until the end of the epoch, going back to Kronos. And actually, for most people, it's going to be beneficial to wait until just before the end of the epoch, because then you can see truly which pool is going to offer the most bribes. As you know, if you're having a bribe wars going on, then the likelihood is that those who are bribing are going to want to wait and see how competitive they have to make their bribes. So it plays into your favor if you are a VECHR holder to wait until just before the epoch to vote. Though please be sure to do it in time and avoid congestion issues on Polygon to make sure you get your vote in. And yes, going back then to Balancer, I also think it's from Ethereum to Polygon, Mad Mike Delta, as you mentioned, bringing the Balancer rewards from Ethereum to Polygon. Balancer has to do that. It is outside of our control, so it does take time to do that. And we've already seen people coming into chat asking what's going on. So those of you who are here, you're the informed ones. Please help out. Please let people know. That'll be very helpful and appreciated. Naturally, it's concerning, right? If you don't know what's going on, you would have questions too. So, we just want to be understanding. Some people don't know what's going on, and this is the reason. Right. We introduced another vault on Dyson in collaboration with Jarvis on Arbitrum. It is a EURS JEUR Euro stablecoin auto compounding pool, which I think is very prudent and timely, because for those concerned about the de-dollarization going on across the globe, then this actually presents an excellent way to diversify your stable yield into a stablecoin that is, obviously not based in the US. It is the euro. So that presents a pretty good opportunity to kind of diversify your stable yield outside of a specific country. Scottish accent? If there was a Scottish accent, it was unintentional, and yeah. More volume would also make that APR go up, which maybe happens Friday with super secret information. That is correct. That the higher the volume, the higher the APR, because part of that APR is indeed from the swap volume. That is correct. Ultra asks, when Zimbabwe currency pegged stable? I want to be a billionaire. Ask Jarvis, I guess. Ask Jarvis Network. They're the ones that are integrating a lot of these different stable coins, cross centralized governments. So they would be the ones to do it. They have the infrastructure for it. All right. And we finally received direction from Satin just recently, thankfully, as per the migration plan of SP Satin. So you can now unmint and withdraw your SP Satin positions. And when you do so, you will receive cash Satin LP tokens, which can then be broken down further by going to satin.exchange. So again, if you have SP Satin, you can now unmint and withdraw your position, which will be in a cash Satin LP. You can then take that LP and break it down on satin.exchange. And we really appreciate your patience on this matter. I know Sim released a chat between him and Tony at Stable Labs, kind of pushing and asking because, it was outside of our hands, but that is no more because you can now unmint. Crypto RY asked, how will this affect Sphere price or Sphere holders Pre-on? Well, let's put a hold on that because there is a question in stage question that asks that. But yeah, let's put a hold on that because we'll get to that a little bit later. Why should one use Star? Star being the stablecoin of Pre-on. That is a great question. Naturally, there will be incentives to use Star, but we will, as Ultra just mentioned, we will be getting the full picture on Friday during our Pre-on AMA. So these are really good questions, and I will only be able to answer them generally because more detailed information will come on Friday. But I'll be do my best. I be do my best to answer them as generally as I can, based on the information I can provide. Right. The Thana pools. My goodness, this has been a massive topic as well. We are working on migrating to the new Thana pools. They have changed over from the old solidly style vault, which has been deprecated, to a new Fusion vault. And so we are working on that migration. Dyson's APYs, therefore, on the USDC USDT vaults are currently incorrect because of this. So our recommendation currently is to please withdraw your USDC USDT from the Dyson Thana vault because there are no rewards there, and wait for further information. And again, we want to thank you and appreciate your patience on this matter as well. All right. Man, a lot going on in Axit again. I see where it's coming in. Yeah, all right. See, it's just subconscious almost at this point. All right. Delphim, can you guys do a Crew 3 campaign to incentivize community to create content around Sphere on Twitter? It's free. I see CryptoFat typing, so I'm going to wait on his reply for that. I have a feeling he's responding to that. I knew it. CryptoFat says, we had a marketing meeting today and discussed this among other things. So there is your answer, Delphim. YL official detox. What would you recommend we do after we withdraw from the Satin LP? Do we just chill out and wait for further comms, or I hate having money sit? No. So actually, withdraw from the Satin LP. Okay. So once you withdraw from the Satin LP, I mean, I can't really say necessarily what you would want to do with that. That kind of comes to individual decision. On the Satin side, I know that they plan to have redemptions for Satin tokens. The cash, on the other hand, essentially that would be free for you to use as you best see fit. I couldn't specifically give you advice on what to do with that, unfortunately. Mad Mike provided a recommendation of their own. Yeah, obviously there's lots of different things you could do with that. It's just specifically the Satin can be redeemed based on Satin exchange and their retro exchange. There will be a way to redeem that. I'm actually not sure if that's live yet, but I know it is coming if it's not live already. But the part that is active is you can now unmint your SP Satin back to the LP and can unhinge or break down your LP on Satin exchange. And yes, T1, basically all things marketing are now being done in collaboration internally and externally with the marketing agency. Delphim, what are your plans to mitigate the sell pressure on Sphere single pool on Dyson during June if there is selling pressure? So we actually covered this like in pretty great detail, if I can recall correctly, last AMA, which I know has been about 2 weeks now. But just to kind of reiterate more concisely, we realize that there's this big unlock time coming, and the vision of Sphere has not changed. We're closer to achieving that vision and having these core ecosystem components laid out. So it's a free market. People are going to be able to do what they best see fit, and at the end of the day, whatever happens, it's not going to be the final the final chapter in the story of Sphere. We're still going to be building. We still have these ecosystem projects that we're putting together to create this vision that Sphere has as a meta governance kingpin, as a diversified single token exposure. So in many ways, this vision of Sphere is not changing just because there is an unlock period coming up. What it does create, as T1 is kind of alluding to about speculation, is that it creates a lot of speculation, which could in turn generate a lot of trading one way or another. which is good for the protocol too, just through the swap fees and whoever's contributing liquidity as well. So it's impossible to say really. There's a lot of question around that, and we can probably talk about it for quite a while in terms of what could potentially happen, and we just won't know until it's there. But again, at the end of the day, we're still building. The vision of Sphere hasn't changed. We're still working towards that, and we're closer than we ever were because of all of the development that we've put in over the past, several months. I'm just catching up on chat here, reading through. All right. Well, the last thing I wanted to cover, of course, before going into the actual stage questions, is the Pre-Preon AMA coming up this Friday. So this is very exciting news for many reasons. We're finally ready to open the doors to what we've created. And we will be having a Twitter Spaces AMA reviewing all things Pre-Preon so that you can finally peek under the hood at what Pre-Preon will offer as a CDP with our very own stablecoin Star. And it's just so fun. There's a lot. There's a lot, and it'll be really cool. I'm excited, of course. So in addition to the Twitter space, we will also do our best to have a YouTube stream open so you can visualize Pre-Preon easier. We're still working out the details on that. But in general, the overall agenda for the AMA is how Pre-Preon works, talking about Star as an OFT or omni-chain fungible token. So that's fun. Pre-Preon, of course, the actual Pre-Preon token, which makes Pre-Preon's world go around. And then the integrations and potential integrations of how Dyson and Pre-Preon can work together. And as it was said in the announcement, a match made in heaven. So they were built to work together, and work together they shall. Storm Rage, what a coincidence. Pre-Preon AMA just before first unlock period. Yeah, in some ways, yeah, that certainly helps. But at the same time, we're still about a month out from that unlock. And project was in the work for months. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. All right. When SP? Oh, when SP Pepe? Mm-hmm. I see what it is that you done did there, Clara. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's get to the stage questions. So, did I see Stellar here? Stellar Drone? I don't see you in chat. That's okay. So while Stellar Drone had asked, at least a week ago now, I saw Thana has 10K fees in 24 hours from their Fusion Gamma partnership already, and their vision for scaling is super interesting. Concentrated liquidity is thriving right now, so why aren't we taking full advantage of it? Is there any aspect where we are struggling with this? Dyson's V3 vaults came months before them, so there can't be any excuse, right? What are the next real steps on it? Any concrete plans to scale it up? Maybe pursue a partnership with Gamma? I feel it's time is running out before there's hundreds of forks out there for it. So, Stellar, I kind of want to be frank, if I may, and say that I sense a lot of fear of missing out or FOMO with this post. Sphere's emphasis is on building infrastructure in DeFi, and whenever we hear about or see an opportunity to leave our mark, we at the very least will consider it, if not start working on ways for how to integrate it into our ecosystem. Even so, things like this do take time, and as I've mentioned earlier, we want to make sure to give priority to protocols that have reached out to us and that we have an active relationship with. That doesn't mean that we aren't also working on other opportunities in the background, but it does mean that we have a lot on our plate, which is exciting. We just ask for your patience and continued suggestions because the team reads through everything, and when we see good ideas, we make note of them. Mad Mike, meme season is upon us with those tax refunds. Mm-hmm. Yeah, taxes are fun. Crypto Fat Sphere's endgame goal is to have the project stand. Oh, I see. Okay, so in response to the June unlock, CryptoFat has mentioned Sphere's endgame goal is to have the project stand on its own without needing any sort of weird gimmicks or taxes or anything of the sort for people to see value in it. We are building towards that, so while throwing cash at some APRs could achieve a result, we're not entirely off and not entirely off the table. That result would only be temporary and not be anything to build on. Yes, so sentiment. Okay. Yes. So, yeah, at its core, it kind of goes back to what I was saying in terms of Sphere's vision. And we as a team have been pushing this, kind of talking about this for quite a while now, is that at the end of the day, the Sphere token only really has value when we build that value. And there's actually a reason for people to see value in Sphere. What is value, right? Value is Sphere's ability to, what it really boils down to is Sphere's ability to produce yield, right? That is what people ultimately care about. What is behind Sphere? What is behind the Sphere token? That is the ecosystem that is in the process of being built, that infrastructure that is being laid down to then move forward. So that takes time, right? Gimmicks and this sort of thing, while potentially easy to do, really don't provide a lot of value. And that's just not what we want to provide for people in the DeFi space. We want to provide value. All right, there's my little soapbox rant. I will now step off and get back into chat. At Mike, the Sphere train is on the tracks according to the roadmap of projects and launches, creating the value benefiting the holder. Correct. Yes. That is much more succinct than my long rant. Thank you. Discussions about the unlock. Speculation. Yes, indeed. All right. Perfect opportunity for a quick water break. No tea. Not right now. I know I didn't have time to make myself tea before, so perhaps after. Crypto RY, Cato issue being spoken about. So I mentioned this earlier at the beginning. I really don't have anything I can personally add at this time. But if you refer to the stage board, I have linked to the Sphere announcement, basically where Sim has covered everything that came up in that chat. So please refer to that. Yep, no problem. Can we get some some sipping ASMR? Oh, geez. Perhaps perhaps another YouTube channel I can create, right? The Sphere ASMR channel. My guess is now that the Bell LP APR is lower, then it'll be less of a dip. It would have been when the unlock happens. Yeah, a lot of kind of speculation. We don't really. We'll have to see. That's the other thing too. Chrysalis makes a really good point that I think some people are not thinking of, is that in this realm of speculation, if you have, let's say that you do have a lot of people who decide to leave the ecosystem and sell off their Sphere, it's just going to increase the APR of YL Sphere proportionally. So those who stay in the pool are not going to miss out on any yield, and it will just incentivize other people to come in and take advantage of that yield because they'll be able to get, more of a share. Quite simply. Take care, Storm Rage. All right, lots of kind of back and forth here in stage chat. Um, when Bernie, well, we've mentioned this before, but we're still setting the foundation for the Sphere ecosystem. So right now, the yield generated is getting funneled to those who have a real stake in the project. Those who lock. So I don't have any updates in terms of when is our when is the bane of my existence. I can never answer when questions, except for when is the Pre-Preon AMA? Hey, it's this Friday. All right. Chrysalis, what is the Cato issue? Um, just in general, there were a lot of discussions that went on between community and team, bringing up different things that the community would like to see and what the team is able to do. So if you please go to the stage board and take a look at the announcement that I've linked there, that pretty much summarizes everything, as you can see from that. Yes, Ultra every day is indeed Wednesday. Team Clara, I've accumulated over 2 million from zapping Wmatic into the LP over the last 2 months. 2 million sphere. Wow. That is awesome. Whale, whale, whale. What do we have here? All right. Good, good. I would say we are caught up then. So where was I? Oh, yes. Back in stage questions, the next question was from Leonardo. Is there a way to open a support ticket? I've just found out that I have not been receiving APR for the next month. Thank you, Oxy, for responding to this. There shouldn't be any issues with respect APR for the last month. Well, regardless, if you were experiencing any issues, please create a support ticket and our team will be able to assist you. That goes for everybody. If you run into any problems or issues, don't hesitate to open a support ticket and we will be sure to assist. All right. Vizero. Will Sphere go after the liquidity on Ethereum mainnet and the governance over there? So actually, this is a similar response as to YL Stellar Drone, in that there are many potential opportunities and areas where Sphere can provide capital efficiency and infrastructure within DeFi. And if the opportunity exists and there is enough interest, then the likelihood is that we will at the very least consider it. Delphim, when Sphere DeFi Casino. Yes, indeed. As Ultra mentioned, we do still have the coin toss and dice offerings by BetSwirl. Correct, but no current plans to expand on those offerings. But that was a very early partnership with BetSwirl, and those games are run and operated by them. So of course, use it at your own risk, and with an awareness of how gambling works in general. There was talk about getting supply 7 billion or 6 billion token by the end of the year. Is that still on the table? I don't think anyone from the team was talking about that specifically. I do think a lot of community members had expressed that they would like to see something like that. But again, it kind of goes back to the current yield that the ecosystem is earning. Is our priority is on YL Sphere and earnings for YL Sphere, such that those who are taking stake in the protocol or locking their tokens are going to be the most rewarded over time. MG Dan, how do you do that? Is it on Dyson or Balancer? Some for zapping Wmatic into. I'm confused. What zapping Wmatic into? I guess that depends on how Clara did it. If it was done by the claim and compound button on Dyson, then that goes through balancer anyway. Oh, I see. You're talking about the balancer LP zapping into the LP. Gotcha. Okay. All right, let's get back to some of these questions here. The next one is from Nip. How does Preon? Oh, and this was the question. Who had asked it? I think it was Crypto RY. I think you had asked something about this. So Nip had asked in the stage questions, how does Preon benefit directly and indirectly to Sphere holders? And is YL Sphere still going to be ongoing after Preon's release? So first off, a lot more will be discussed in Friday's AMA, so be sure to tune in for that. It will also be recorded if you can't make it. But since Preon is being built by Sphere, a portion of just generally, right? A portion of revenue from Preon will funnel to Sphere and therefore to Sphere lockers. So that's one way. Beyond that, and truly where the real value lies, are all of the different intricacies of how Preon can work with Sphere, specifically through Dyson. And these intricacies will be discussed in time. And this is a good question to ask during Friday's Preon AMA to see what kind of alpha we can get from Sim. In the meantime, you asked about YL Sphere. YL Sphere will continue after the launch of Preon and Sphere Lend. Right, that's the primary mode of earning from Sphere's ecosystem at this time. And it will not be until Sphere's V3 tokenomics are finalized that YL Sphere will transition to VE Sphere. And of course, we will be including announcements and talking about that, but that is not the focus right now, right? The focus is on finishing up Preon, finishing up Sphere Lend, getting these products, finalized and shipped out. And then we can talk about transitioning to V3. But yes, in the meantime, YL Sphere is still going to be ongoing, not going anywhere. Still the primary way to earn from the Sphere ecosystem. All right. So Crypto RY, I know that doesn't fully satisfy. Was it you? I'm going back now. I don't remember. My brain. Okay. I know that doesn't. I know that doesn't fully satisfy your question, but unfortunately, we have to wait until Friday to kind of get more details, more information. But Friday, okay, good, excellent. All right. Also, Nip had asked, not soon after the first question, how does someone leverage VE33 tokenomics? And this is in reference to the Preon Twitter post that we released and sent out. And thank you, Sim, for responding to it, which basically boils down to. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Sim responded to this, and basically, we have to wait until Friday. So be sure to tune in. And again, if you cannot make the time, then no worries, because it shall be recorded. All right. Last question I have from stage questions is from Mowgli. Have you considered moving Sphere to a different chain at some point in the future? Perhaps one that is more stable transactions wise or with more volume, like Binance Smart Chain or Arbitrum. So first, Sphere is technically already cross-chain through its ecosystem projects, including Dyson. If you are referring to the Sphere token itself, this has been considered, but at this time, there are no official changes to the current decision to keep the Sphere token on Polygon. but it's a good question, and I like what how you're thinking. All right. So we are doing good on time. Oh, Crypto RY, peacing out. Take care. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, I think Friday will be a lot of fun, a lot of interesting things. Um, and we hope to see you guys there for sure. I'm excited. Day, you mean night? 11 p.m. Oh man, really? Wow. Well, have a good rest of your night, Crypto RY. Take care. Delphim, I've been seeing your extremely bullish sentiment. I appreciate it. I certainly hope so. Very good. Well, I covered a decent amount. I know that there's kind of a lot of pause and a lot of information that we kind of just have to wait on. A lot of questions we just have to wait on for Friday. But in the meantime, does anyone have any questions about what we've talked about, the ecosystem in general, things that have transpired over the last couple of weeks? Because again, there's been a lot that's been going down. Tag me in chat if I'm wrong. May 5th, remember. How could I forget? That's this Friday. A few drinks in Sim's voice. Yeah, definitely a good time. Awesome. So basically, all we can really say about Friday is that it's basically going to be awesome. A all right. Well, good. If let me just double check. I think we're all set on the stage questions. Yep, we're all caught up. And I believe I'm caught up on stage chat. So we can just give it a couple more minutes here. People have final thoughts, final questions. Otherwise, we can take a seat early in anticipation of Friday. When Sphere NFTs for higher APRs? What? Ready for Friday Moon? It'll be exciting, that's for sure. See a couple people typing. Nevis voice NFT. Oh, fantastic. Chrysalis quantum liquidity as a service still in the cards for the bull run. Ultimately, it depends on Tetu and Tetu v2, how that's going to function and operate, and then how we can then use that and kind of build upon it in the ecosystem. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I feel comfortable taking a close here. So thank you all so much for showing up, tuning in, engaging in chat. That's my favorite part, is to see you guys interacting and kind of answering to things in stage chat. So thanks for being here. And hopefully, of course, we'll see you next week. But hopefully as well, we see you this Friday. Be sure to go to the events, click interested, make sure you're notified, you know what time it is in your time zone. And if you can't make it, that's okay. We understand, and we will have it recorded so that you all can listen to it later. Absolutely. Thanks for you guys for showing up. Always remember that you matter for who you are. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye, y'all.